What's up, YouTube? Awesome Yugioh here. Coming today with a dueling video. Today we got Dragon Rulers or Mythic Rulers versus 6 Samurais. I'm playing the Mythic Rulers. A friend of mine is playing 6 Samurai. I actually wasn't planning on I was planning on recording video, but wasn't planning on uploading this video. But during the duel, I found it was kind of an interesting duel, so I decided I could upload it. So I believe I lost a die roll. Yeah, I lost a die roll. So 6 Samurai is going to start off playing a Shen Smoke Signal, I believe it's called, searching out his Kageki. And of course, this is setting him up for a first turn Shien play. So he has the United, our 6 Samurai United, summons his Kageki, activates its effect to special summon Kagemusha, allowing him to draw 2 cards off of 6 Samurai United. Each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal special summon, you place 1 counter on it, and then a maximum of 2, and then you can send it to grave to draw the amount of cards equal to the amount of counters you have. So like I said, he has this Shien opening play, which is a really strong opening play. You're going to open Shien most of the time in 6 Samurai. So let's see what I can do to counteract. So now I have to play around a Shien, which in theory could negate any spell he wants to negate. So I'm going to activate a Foolish Burial, and he's going to allow that to happen, I believe. Yeah. At this point he doesn't know what I'm playing, so he's thinking I might be playing Dark World, and he's afraid to negate the Foolish Burial. Maybe playing Dark World Dealings, just discarding Grapha and destroying his Shien. But I'm playing Mythic Ruler, as you can see now. So the blaster is being sent to the grave. Now all he has to hope is either that I cannot summon my blaster, or that he has protection from the blaster. Because of course blaster is 2800 Shien, only 2500, so of course he's going to allow the upstart to happen. And with my upstart I draw another upstart. It happens. But what I'm doing is, actually I was trying to bait out his Shien, because I really wanted this trade into resolve. But at this point he's actually going to let it resolve, because now if I would have Soul Charge, the Blood-War Dragon already hit the grave, so Soul Charge would just easily put me with a Blood-War Dragon, which he probably couldn't get over with. So he's going to allow the trade in as well, negating nothing, I believe, this turn. But my grave is kind of loaded now, and I have some cards in my hand. But I don't really have a play, so I just go with the Curry Bandit, setting 2 back row, and in the end phase activating Curry Bandit's effect to excavate 5 cards. Let's see what I hit. I hit a Dragon Ruler, that's always good. And I do hit the White Son of Legend, but I only play 1 White Son of Legend, 1 Blood-War Dragon, and you also already saw the Blood-War Dragon earlier in this game. So I'm going to have to reveal my deck to my opponent, so that my opponents can make sure that I don't have a Blood-War Dragon in deck, because of course White Son of Legend is a mandatory effect. So he checks that really quick. And I think I added Dragon Shrine with Curry Bandit. Pretty sure I added Dragon Shrine. So here my opponent normal summons the Spirit of the 6 Samurai. This is a Union monster, so it can equip itself to Shien, protecting Shien even more, and boosting its attack with 500. So I get 3000 damage, and I draw another Dragon Shrine. So here I activate the Dragon Shrine, and my opponent pretty much has to negate it at this point. Normally you can only activate 1 Dragon Shrine a turn, but Shien negates the activation. I'm making sure that I think I'm going to, I needed to read that, but since Shien negates the activation, I can activate another Dragon Shrine, which I'll actually top deck after adding the first with Curry Bandit. So I'm still able to resolve a Dragon Shrine. Sending Tidal. I already sent a Blaster to grave with Foolish Burial, and I milled a Tempest. So I have 3 colors at this point. I have Tempest, Tidal, and Blaster. So that's pretty strong. And my grave is filled pretty good. So let's see if my opponent can counteract some of my plays. So I just summoned a Blaster. Of course, Shannon's at 3000 right now, so just Blaster on its own shouldn't be a problem. I banish a title, adding Mystic Water Dragon. I think I have Mystic Tree Dragon in my hand at this point in the game. Yeah, there's the Mystic Tree Dragon. This allows me to special out Mythic Water Dragon. And I'm going to activate Mythic Tree Dragon's its effect, copying the level of Mythic Water Dragon, making a rank 8 play. And since I need something to get over the 3000, one thing I could do was making Heliopolis, but I decided to go with number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. This allowing me to destroy Xian twice, because Giant Grinder can activate its effect up to twice per turn, so I would be able to destroy it once, then my opponent could send the Spirit to the grave, then I could just activate it again, getting rid of the Xian. Mostly this was to bait out some of his back row. And I think he actually has a response here. Yeah, he has the Nisakami Magatama. So, my Giant Rider gets destroyed, but I still have Tempest and its life in the grave at this point. So at this point, if his back row isn't anything relevant, I can just Big Eye his Xian. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. So you can actually see what I'm banishing, but I'm banishing my cards really carefully. So I still have a Flamful Guard and a Blue-Eyes White Dragon in my graveyard for a Soul Charge play, because Soul Charge for 2, Blue-Eyes White Dragon and Flamful Guard is going to get you a Azure-Eyes White Dragon. So if you're playing Dragon Rulers, you really need to make sure your grave is in order as well when you're banishing dragons. So here I get the steal, get the Snatch Steal the Xian. And of course now I can negate one spell trap a turn. But my opponent actually has a really good counterplay right now. So he's going to special the Elder, which he had in his first turn. And he's going to activate Spirit's effect to special summon itself. And now he's going to normal summon his Shen Squire, which is a level 1 tuner. So now he has a 3/3 and a level 1 tuner. So he can make a Black Rose play now, getting rid of the Xian right away. And getting rid of my 2 back row and my Big Eye. And I don't have a count for that. I didn't see this coming at all. So I have to Bottomless banishing the Black Rose, but that doesn't really matter. And one of my Soul Charges gets destroyed. But I have another one in my hand. That's why I said this one. But my opponent has the Soul Charge himself. So he's going to bring back his Xian and his Spirit once again. Paying the 2000 life points, putting him at, I believe, 5000. While I'm at 5000 myself, if I'm not mistaken at this point. He's going to equip his Spirit and set 1. So, yeah, this was a really good counterplay when I thought I was pretty much having this game in the bag. But I still have a Tempest and a Blaster, so I should be able to make a comeback push. And like I said, I also have the... And I drew a Redux. Actually didn't know that. But now, yeah. So now I can activate Tempest's effect to add either Influence or the Breed Dragon. I'm going to add Influence Dragon because Leo is a really big problem for my opponent's deck to deal with. He pretty much has to make Excalibur to run it over. So I'm going to make Leo right now. Still having Soul Charge in my hand. Not trying to use that. I'm just trying to play out as much as I can without using my Soul Charge. And that's pretty much, in my opinion, the best play to abuse a Soul Charge. Just like my opponent did earlier in this game. Using all his resources to clear my field and then getting a real strong field himself. So Leo deals 100 damage, Spirit protects Xian. Now I have a 31 beater on the field, and out of experience I know Six Samurai has a really big problem dealing with that. So he tops decks, I think, on aestheticism, and he just has to pass turn. Since the one back row still kind of scares me, I don't want to overextend, so I just leave the Leo there and just attack for 1. And the end phase, I set a soul charge and it got MST'd, so that's pretty bad. Oh, it wasn't aestheticism. My opponent now has 2 Six Samurai United in hand, so that's the problem with Six Samurai. It's a really bad deck to top deck some stuff. So, like I said, I think my opponent is at 4,400 right now. So here I'm just going to summon 1 Dragon Ruler to try and kick for game, without using any of my soul charges. So I'm going to go with Blaster, and I still have the Blue Eyes White Dragon and the Flamboyant Guard in my grave. So, and I still have a soul charge, so I'm going to banish Redux, I believe. Just because that would be better for my soul charge, so that's why I'm leaving Flamboyant Guard and Blue Eyes White Dragon in my grave. So I'm going to attack with Leo, and then with Blaster, and that's going to be game. You can see it here, I still had the soul charge. So now we're going into game 2, after side decking. Of course, Dragon Ruler is kind of an easy deck to side against, and I don't really have something special for Six Samurai in my side deck, so I think I just put in a maxi since I'm going second, and skill drains, I believe. Of course, I don't know what my opponent put in, but I'm going to have to assume some Floodgate Guards, or maybe Debunk or something. So my opponent starts off really strong again with the Shen Smoke Signal, adding Kageki. And I'm going to assume he's going to normal summon Kageki, activate its effect, special summon out Kagemusha. Yeah, I think I see the Kagemusha in his hand. Yeah, that's the Kageki. And I have the maxi for this, so that's pretty strong. So I get the 1-for-1 here. And here I don't think I completely agree with my opponent. He doesn't go into Xian. He decides to not give me the +1 off of maxi, but this is a pretty easy board to counter. But I think I saw the Torrential, so he probably has a Torrential set to counteract me if I am going to push too hard. But I have a pretty strong hand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I opened the Gold Sark, that's always good. And I think I have Foolish Burial as well. So Redux, adding 3. I'm going to get my Redux in 2 turns. And then I think I'm going to use the Foolish Burial. And if I don't have the Mythic Water Dragon at this point, probably for title. I can't remember. Let's see. I probably have a trade-in. Yeah, I have a trade-in. Alright. So, but would my opponent have made Xian? He could have negated either the Gold Sark or the trade-in that's coming. Putting him in a better position, because then he would get the +1 I just got. He would get it back. So, yeah, like I said, I think my opponent should have just made Xian here. Starts being played, my opponent at 9,000. There's the trade-in for the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I might have already had the Mythic Water Dragon, by the way. Yeah. So I'm going to make a Felgrand play right now, because that's just safer with the back row. And that's actually going to make his Torrential Tribute pretty much dead, because Felgrand can protect itself from it. So here I decide to attack the Kagemusha instead of Kageki. Kagemusha is his tuner, so I feel like that's more relevant to get off of the field than Kageki at this point. despite not doing any damage there, but that's not. It would have been 1100 damage with what you call it, with attacking Gageki. But here, my opponent has a Leo play himself. That's going to put me in a really bad position, because Dragon Rulers have a difficult time getting over Leo as well. I have my own Leo to crash in it, or I can make a Star Eater to run over it. But your options are just limited against a Leo in general. So here my Falcon's just going to die. And my opponent sets another back row, so now he still has his Torrential. And he has another back row, so I'm not in the greatest position right here. Let's see what I'm going to do. So I have the Redux in next turn. Oh, but I have the Matean. Alright, I forgot about that. I sided in that as well, so that's pretty much the easiest out ever against Leo. My opponent has to read this here, but that's alright, because Matean isn't something that's played a lot. But yeah, what it does, when it's attacked or being attacked, at the end of the battle phase, return all other monsters on the field, and then you inflict 300 damage for each of them. And during your standby phase, you have to shuffle it back in your deck. So yeah, this I think I actually opened with it, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. So I felt kind of safe for the Xian as well, if you would have made Xian first turn. So his Leo is now going to return to his extra deck, and he's going to get 300 damage. And I don't think I have any protection here. Yeah, no, I don't. I drew pretty kind of a few traps in this match entirely. Didn't have a lot of traps. My opponent has nothing to counteract this. He's just going to get Matean off the field by its own effect. But I do get the Redux to my hand now. So I think my opponent is at 8700, if I'm not mistaken. Plus 1000, and then just only the minus 300. And I don't have a lot in my grave. I have a lot of spells. I activated a lot of spells, but and I have a full hand, but I don't have a lot of monsters in game at this point. I think I have Blue Eyes, White Stone, and a Max C. So I'm going to banish 2 for Redux. He's asking me for which Dragon Ruler, so at this point I had a read on a Debunk. But he's just going to Torrential. So at this point I am thinking his other set is a Debunk. So here I waited with my Soul Charge to activate it if I couldn't make it into the battle phase, which I couldn't because of the Torrential. So here I have my Blue Eyes White Dragon and my Flamfall Guard, and I'm going to summon in, going to sink into Azure, which is a beast of a card. So my Azure is now protected from any card effects, any destruction, and cannot be targeted by card effects, I should say, until the end of my next turn. Oh no, sorry, until the end of the next turn. So in this turn my opponent pretty much can get over Azure. And then of course in my standby phase I get to special summon one normal type dragon monster from my graveyard. So either the Blue Eyes White Dragon or the Flamfall Guard. So my opponent is really in a predicament right now. So he needs to figure out something to do about that. And once again, his outs are limited. So here I needed to read exactly what he could do. And if he could think of an out against Azure. And he just has to pass turn. So here I get my Blue Eyes White Dragon out. Of course now I don't have the protection anymore of Azure. But I already saw the Torrential Tribute, so I could get debunked or maybe bottomless. and it is the debunk, uh, as I expected. So I baited out the debunk with a Redox, which is pretty good. But I don't think I have any other colors at this point. So, afraid of getting OTK'd, he pretty much had to activate the debunk right here. So I'm going to normal summon the bandit, I'm going to switch Azure to attack position, inflicting a total of 6500 damage. I think putting him at 2200. So in the end phase, I'm going to excavate 5, and I was kind of shocked by the mills. So like I said, I didn't have any colors, but I milled a Tidal, a Tempest, and a Blaster. The first 3 I milled with or excavated with Curry Bandit. So that was really strong. So my opponent activates 6 Samurais United. He has the Inishi, which can compulse pretty much any monster if you control another 6 Samurai, which he does because he has the Kizan. So now he's going to draw 2. Drawing into another 6 Samurai United, and he's going to draw another Kizan. Or Kizan or something, I don't know. So now Initius is 2200, Kizans are both at 21, I think. But he doesn't really have an out. He can make Excalibur at this point. Let's see. What would that do? Excalibur would put him at 4000, so he could bounce one first, and then attack over the other one with 4000. But I think he needs to keep Inishi on the board, because I have a lot of Dragon Rulers in my... So let's see, he's going to bounce the Blue Eyes first. I don't agree with that. I think this was kind of a misplay. If he would have returned the Azure to the extra deck, he wouldn't have to waste his Inishi in my draw phase next turn, per se. Because now he has to use Inishi in my draw phase after getting the 2 draws, because he makes Shadow Shen. But now he has to use Inishi in my draw phase to make sure I don't just get back a Flameful Guard for free. And he actually draws into 2 Aestheticisms, so yeah, that's just bad. So I'm just going to pass turn here. Actually forgetting to set his Dimensional Prison, or maybe he didn't want to set it, afraid of an end phase MST or something, but then he could just set all 3 of his back row. Yeah, and here he figures out he forgot his trap, so I think he did want to set it. But in my draw phase he bounces my Azure. But at this point I have 3 colors in my grave. And I have some other dragons as well. I have Metayan, which is a fire, so I can banish Metayan for Blaster as well. So and it's only at 2200, so I'm pretty feeling pretty safe right here. So even if he would have set the trap, which was a Dimensional Prison, I think this would have been game anyway. So Tempest, I banish Tempest, activating its effect, getting Debris Dragon. Debris Dragon is going to bring back Flameful Guard, and I still have Tidal Engrave as well, which is live, which I could summon. So here I think I'm going to go into Scrap Dragon. Of course Inishi can be used, it's a once per turn effect during I split turn, it is, but he can't use Inishi anymore. I don't even think he has any targets in grave at this point. But let's see. I think I go into Scrap Dragon. I think I'm thinking about going into Colossal Fighter right now, because Colossal Fighter would be pretty strong. He has some warriors. But since he banished all, he only has 2, and when I kill Shen, or Shadow Shen, 4. So that would put me at 3000 or 3200, but Scrap Dragon is definitely the better play. So I'm going to target Burial, or my set card, which is a Burial, and Inishi. My thought process about this was if I would destroy Shadow Shen, he could activate Inishi again, but of course that's wrong, because Inishi needs to have an other face-up attack position monster. But it's still a game, so the 800 damage doesn't really matter. And yeah, as you can see, even with a Dimensional Prison I would still have game, because I'm going to make Star Eater. By the way, I make Star Eater because of the Shen Squire. Shen Squire, you can't activate Shen Squire when Star Eater is attacking. So, because Shen Squire would actually protect his, what you call it, Shadow Shen. So this is going to be game. I thought it was a pretty good.